We got a year of Sanderson, and now that year is over. How did he do? Hey there, Book Dragons and Cosmere fans. I'm so glad you're with me today. The year of Sanderson is now over, and I am going to give you my ranking for the secret novels. Before we do, make sure that you like, subscribe, join my Discord, and join my Patreon if you'd like to support me there. I would like to thank my patrons so much for all of their support, and I just can't tell you what it means to me to have you support me on this journey. So let's go ahead and move right to the topic of today's video, and I'm going to break this up into two sections. First of all, I am going to rank the books in terms of how much Cosmere knowledge is needed. So if you're looking at reading the secret novels, but you're not sure if you're going to get spoilers or anything like that, I'm going to rank them in terms of how much they relate to the Cosmere. And then after that, I'm going to give you my ranking as far as the quality of the books goes. What did I think? Which ones were my favorites? That sort of thing, okay? So we're going to start with the Cosmere ranking. And right off the bat, I can tell you, if you have not read anything in the Cosmere and you do not want to get any spoilers whatsoever, but you want to try out Brandon's secret novels, you can do that. And the one you would want to start with is The Frugal Wizard's Handbook to Surviving Medieval England. That book is not related in any way, shape, or form to the Cosmere. It is a completely standalone novel. It can be read independently, so there you go. Next in line would be Tress of the Emerald Sea. That book does relate to the Cosmere, but it's a completely new world. Some of the concepts for the magic system are similar to another world that Brandon has written about, but not so similar that it's going to spoil anything. There is one character from the Cosmere that does show up in Tress in the Emerald Sea, but you don't really have to know anything about that character necessarily to enjoy the story. If you want to read one of the Cosmere novels without getting spoiled, I would say Tress of the Emerald Sea is a good one for you. The next up in terms of Cosmere content is Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. That definitely has some Cosmere tie-ins, but not so many that you're going to be overwhelmed or feel lost if you're reading it. I think it would be a pretty enjoyable adventure without knowing anything about the Cosmere, but there are some characters from other Cosmere novels that pop up in the book, so that may bother you. There are some references in the book that might kind of have you scratching your head and going, okay, I don't know really what they're talking about, but I guess that's fine. It's one of those that you may wish that you had some Cosmere knowledge, but you could probably get away with reading it without reading any other Cosmere books. The final one is The Sunlit Man, and that one definitely has a lot of Cosmere references. And it's funny, with the Cosmere ranking, they're kind of ranked in the order they were released, too, with the exception of The Frugal Wizard, which had nothing to do with the Cosmere. But Tress came out first, and then Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, and then Sunlit Man in terms of the Cosmere books. And that's exactly how I rank them in terms of how much Cosmere content they have. So if you don't know anything about the Cosmere, I would probably avoid the Sunlit Man. It's so full of little references and nuggets here and there, characters that show up that you have no idea who they are. The main character of the Sunlit Man is a character from another Cosmere book series. You're probably better off not bothering. So that's my ranking there. Frugal Wizard definitely has the least Cosmere content, which is none at all, and the Sunlit Man has the most. I hope that's helpful. Let me know in the comments if that was at all helpful to you. Now let's get to ranking my enjoyment of the secret novels. And I'm going to rank it from 1 being the least to 4 being the book that I most enjoyed. And with number 1, that is The Frugal Wizard's Handbook to Surviving Medieval England. It was just okay. It was very derivative of other science fiction works, and I think in some ways intentionally so. Like, it read a lot like The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I think it's probably very similar to a lot of lit RPG novels, even though I haven't really read lit RPG, but it seems kind of like that. It feels like you're in a video game or a role-playing game as a character leveling up and all those kinds of things. So it didn't feel like Sanderson. For one, I have a certain expectation of what I'm going to get from Sanderson, and it didn't really feel like that. And it kind of felt like he was trying out a new audience, which is fine. It's great to branch out. But I just don't know that it executed well. Coming in at the number 2 slot is Tress and the Emerald Sea. So this is my least favorite of the Cosmere books, even though I really, really enjoyed it. There were elements of it that I was kind of taken out of the story with. There are some technology elements and sci-fi elements that I didn't feel totally fit, but overall it was a really enjoyable story, and I would definitely read it again at some point after I've read more books in the Cosmere. I might want to come back and revisit Tress, especially if there are other books that start exploring elements of Tress's world, which I think there will be. I may want to go back and reread it, and I did have a lot of fun with it. I thought Tress was a really cool character. I enjoyed the kind of piratey theme that was being explored there, so yeah, it worked pretty well. I thought it was good, but it wasn't my favorite. Coming in at number 3, that would be The Sunlit Man. The Sunlit Man was pretty good. It was fun, it was action-packed, the pacing was really good. I thought the character development was pretty well. When it gets to the point where we find out who the Sunlit Man is, because I've read enough of the Cosmere, it was kind of a cool reveal. I'm like, oh yeah, I know who that is. But I feel like it didn't quite know what it wanted to be. It had lots of elements of sci-fi, it had lots of elements of fantasy, and I don't know that they meshed really well together. It was definitely a lot of fun, though. I would definitely reread it again, and I think on a reread I may see more things that I didn't notice before. So that's pretty cool. I think once book 5 of the Stormlight Archive comes out and I read that book, I'll be able to kind of see some things that were pointed to in The Sunlit Man. And that's kind of what I said at the beginning of the video. It's very Cosmere heavy, and it talks about something that has not happened yet in the Stormlight Archive, but I'm assuming will happen, maybe in book 5. I'm kind of at a wait and see on that one, but it was my second favorite of the secret projects. And because that's my second favorite, you can probably guess what my favorite book in the secret projects was, and that is, of course, Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. Guys, Yumi is such a great story, especially if you are really art inclined, if you consider yourself an artsy person. I think Yumi and the Nightmare Painter will really appeal to you. It's got a lot of artistic flair in there. It's got a really unique world, 2 unique worlds that kind of collide with each other. The magic system is designed around art and creativity. That creativity is necessary in order to vanquish the monsters in this story. And there's kind of a neat little love story that's happening between 2 of the characters. I thought it just worked really well. It wasn't an absolutely phenomenal read for me. It had its issues, but overall I thought it was the most coherent and straightforward of the secret novels, and I really enjoyed my time reading it. Of the 4 secret novels, that is definitely one that I would go back and read over and over again. It just clicked with me. It really did. So that's my personal ranking. You may feel differently if you read the secret novels, and that's totally fine. No judgment at all on my part. Everybody's experience with the secret novels is a little bit different. In terms of my normal tier ranking system, that I usually use when I'm doing book reviews. I think Brandon Sanderson did a very shiny job on these secret novels as a whole. There was one that was just really a miss for me. The others were pretty good, and one of them was really great for me. I loved Yumi. So I think overall he produced some quality stories that I think will stand the test of time and be enjoyed by people for a lot of years to come. I think there's probably even an audience for the Frugal Wizard's Handbook. I don't want to diminish that at all as a story that a lot of people would enjoy. So he really did a great job, and I'm really happy that he surprised us with these secret novels. Let me know in the comments below what you think. How did Brandon do? If you've read all the secret novels, what do you think? I would love to know your thoughts on it. And if you think I'm dead wrong on some of my rankings for it, let me know. Until next time, guys, make sure that you are reading more books, and I will talk with you soon.